Good morning and welcome. I'm Belinda Harris, and I'm so glad you carved out this time this morning. It is Wednesday at 6:30 a.m. on July 15th, if you're watching this live. And this week on Monday, we talked about the quiet quitter that nobody discusses. And I want to be honest with you. When I say nobody discusses it, I mean nobody is talking about the woman who is giving everything to her job and nothing to herself. That's who I want to talk to today. And I want to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with yourself. When is the last time you said no at work and meant it without spending the rest of the day feeling guilty about it? Because here's what I see constantly in workplaces: the woman who needs her job, who has a family depending on her, bills that don't stop, people counting on her check. She becomes the most dangerous kind of quiet quitter. Not because she stops caring about her job, but because she stops caring for herself. She says yes when she's already overwhelmed. She skips lunch because there's too much to do. She stays late because she doesn't want to seem like she's not committed. She swallows her frustration because she cannot afford to rock the boat. And she calls it being professional. But I'm going to call it what it is, and that is quietly quitting on yourself. And it's one of the most exhausting ways to live. And here's what this does to you over time. And I want you to really hear this, because it builds resentment, not toward yourself, toward your job, toward your manager, toward the coworker who seems to have no problem leaving on time every single day. You start to feel like work is taking everything from you. But here's the hard truth. And I say this with so much love. Nobody took it. You gave it. You gave it without protecting anything for yourself. And I know why. Because you need this job. Because the stakes are real. Because you cannot afford to be seen as difficult or uncommitted or not a team player. I understand that. I've lived that. But I also know what happens when you keep giving without protecting anything for yourself. Your body starts to keep score. And eventually, it sends you a bill that you cannot ignore. So, what does it look like to stop quietly quitting on yourself without risking your job? It starts smaller than you think. It's taking your lunch break, actually taking it away from your desk. It's letting one non urgent email wait until tomorrow morning. It's leaving on time one day this week without apologizing for it. See, you don't have to blow up your career to start showing up for yourself. You just have to start somewhere. Because here's what I know from the HR side: the employees who burn out the hardest are almost always the ones who gave the most without protecting anything from themselves. Don't let that be you. This week, I want you to identify one way you have been quietly quitting on yourself, just one, and then make one small change. One small act of showing up for yourself the way you show up for everyone else every single day. You are worth that same energy. Thank you for being here, and I will see you at work.